Hi, so welcome back. We are in the 2013 BMW X1, and this is a pretty cool car because it is the bottom of the line crossover, so your entry level CUV from BMW. It's going to slot in right under the X3, so you've got the X1, X3, X5. This is the X-Drive, and it is the 3.5, so this does have the twin turbocharged motor BMW fans will be familiar with. It makes this X1 very quick and very capable in terms of its power to weight ratio. Now, there are some things we'll get into here with the real review, and you'll want to know what we think in terms of the handling and the power and how that combination and the all-wheel drive come together. So let's get going here, get through some details, and really tell you what this over $48,000 BMW is really all about. So let's go. So the first thing to note is that this is a small crossover. This is going to be basically, with the X1, you're looking at a platform that would be similar to your 1 Series, although it's got a very large engine in this twin turbocharged engine that they've thrown in here at the upper level. And the 3.5 with the X-Drive, as we're driving it, is really your upper end package. It does have the adjustable bolsters on both sides, and it does have memory seats, lumbar support, manual leg extension for the thighs here on both sides, passenger and driver. Of course, you can see we've got the two-tone interior here, this lovely red and black. And it really does give this entry-level crossover, if you will, a nice, basically, impression, right? But what I'm going to pose to you after driving this car over 500 miles here is that it is really not an entry-level car at all. It is a car for people who need something that fits the size that they want, but still gives them the ultimate driving machine. So you've got things in this car that really just aren't entry-level. You've got the power bolsters, the memory seats, the navigation, the dual climate control, the whole entertainment system that BMW puts in this. You have automatic headlights, you have the trip computer, automatic wipers. When you turn them on, they're automatically variable, so the rain sensing. It is a very capable and quick car. It is a car that you can't call it entry level, I guess is what I'm saying. So what you have to think about with this car is, does it fit your lifestyle? And being a crossover and the smallest one that BMW offers, yes, it is very capable. We have gotten a lot into this car. However, it's not going to be as big as your X3 or your X5. It's not meant to be. It is a great in-town car, though, very quick. However, from a driving perspective, I find that the suspension is not quite as tight or as firm as I would expect it to be, considering that this is a car that has that ultimate driving machine persona. It is a car that I find a little loose. It wallows a little bit over the bumps. It's not as tight through the corners as I would expect it to be, especially with the all-wheel drive. And we're comparing this to the 335i that we've driven and reported on our YouTube channel. So, check that out for a kind of comparison of their performance. But they have very similar motors, 3.5 liters. And I think you are getting a more lower end car with the X1 because it is the smallest and the lowest price point. I mean, you're looking at about $8,000 less than the 335i that we tested. So it is great value for the money in the BMW brand. I'm not saying that it is great value for the money necessarily compared to other cars on the market. That's really a call by the buyer. But BMWs are BMWs, and there are no substitutes. This car has all the quality and the quality control you would expect out of a German vehicle. Now, one of the things I like to talk about with these cars is comfort, drivability, and cargo room. I think we talked about the cargo room with the seats flipped down. You can get a huge trade showcase in here. We have pictures of that. That thing, is large, 70-pound trade showcase. So you can get the duffel bag in to go with it, your oversized sports duffel bag. That's, a 36-inch bag. And that means baseball bats, golf clubs, all of that stuff fit in the back. You can fold the seats down and put that trade showcase in and that bag in. good usability, and the rear seats are variable in their positioning, so they can be more vertical, they can be more leaned back, and that's great for your passengers. And what's even more interesting to me, and I think the thought process of BMW puts into their cars is pretty incredible, is that it's not a 50-50 split, it's not a 60-40, it's actually 3 separate splits, because your center split where your armrest is and everything folds down separately from the left side and the right side, which means that you can really get a lot of flexibility out of this vehicle. And that is a great feature in a smaller car like this. Some other features that I think are really cool is the panoramic sunroof here that we're going to pop open for you. And what's great about this is that it goes all the way back over your rear passengers, and it lets a lot of light in the car, and it has a power sunshade, so you're not trying to, reach and close and open too, which you'll find in some of the lower end value-oriented vehicles on the market. Also, it actually opens all the way. It'll slide all the way back, and it'll tilt up, which is great. Now, one of the things that's a little odd, though, because it has the power shade, is if you tilt it up and then you try to close the shade, you have to press up on this button. If you try to press back, or not back, but when it goes back all the way, and you try to press forward, it's going to close the roof first, and then you're going to have to hit it again. So again, that comes down to the complexity and the engineering of a German and specifically BMW vehicle. These cars you really have to get to know. It's like my review of the Mini Coupe that we drove. It's not necessarily completely intuitive from the beginning. These are cars that you want to let the dealer train you on. You want to read your owner's manual and understand how everything works, down from your steering wheel controls. You have your phone and your voice activation. And then you have these other controls over here, which might seem a little more odd. One is actually the radio control, and one does change your station going up and down depending on what menu you are. Then when you want to change the computer that's in the dash here, and this isn't a full color computer, it's just the red that you might be used to from BMW, but it's not quite as engaging or dynamic as some of the other cars we've driven, like say, a Ford Fusion, which would not be quite in this price point actually. It's less with the titanium and the EcoBoost that we've driven. But you don't get the full color gauges. BMW still hasn't quite gotten that in the middle, but it is a very classic look, and it's one that I think they'll keep because of that. And you see it across all the lines, from the 6 Series, M6 that we've driven. All of those cars have a very similar gauge cluster, very readable, and classic BMW. So that's the real video, the real review of the 2013 BMW X1. This car is quite the capable vehicle. Well, it's really a crossover utility vehicle, or CUV. It is about almost $49,000, getting close to that $50K mark, which is a lot for a small format crossover utility vehicle. But if you like BMWs, you're going to like the way this car drives. It is very tight, it is sporty, it is fun. With the twin turbo powered engine, it will really move off the line. And this has the sport package, so that changes its characteristics, making it a lot more fun out in the twisty turns. It also has features like the adjustable bolsters for the seats, and you have the leg extender that you can pull out for under the thigh area. It is really a nice vehicle considering its size and the fact that, well, you might expect the smallest vehicle from BMW to be packed with less features, but it's not. It has a lot in it for those who want a smaller vehicle but still want everything that comes in the 3, 5, or, well, almost everything that would come in the 7 Series, just on a smaller scale. It is a neat vehicle, and we think that if you are in the market for one, you should check it out, because there are few vehicles like it that compete with the X1. For Real Auto Reports, I'm Jonathan McGrew. Make sure you check out our Facebook, comment on our YouTube videos, and come back for more real soon. We'll see you down the road.